My name is Gibralter. I'm here. I'm part of the Urtak team, and we just built a new plugin. We had one we built in-house, but it's kind of rough on the edges, so we worked with a developer who's very experienced and helped us really build a very nice plugin. I just love to tell you a little bit about what Urtak does. It's an engagement tool that drives conversation around content on your website. At Urtak, we really want to make online conversations better, and we feel like the way that conversations tend to occur online is, especially around content, tends to be in comment sections, and we think that there's a lot that's left on the table when you use comments to drive conversation. And we found that by using questions rather than comments, you can really drive engagement much more highly. We see about 10 times more engagement compared to comments on any given post. So with Urtak on your site, people ask yes or no questions, and they answer yes or no questions. It's probably easier if I just show it to you. This is a content website that we have. It's called opinion.is, and we just throw kind of guest blog content, our own content, and it's built in WordPress. Our really brilliant designer, Sasha, who designed our application and designed our site, customized this theme. Urtak basically sits at the bottom of a post, and I've answered all the questions there, but here we have a post where there's some content, as you can see, and at the bottom is our Urtak widget. And so basically anyone can ask their own question, and readers answer questions. So no, they're not. Do you like? Yes. And so on. And so this is the widget. This is what end users see. In a couple of weeks, we're coming out with a much more streamlined version where you can upload backgrounds and customize it. But the plugin looks like this. So once you install the plugin, there's a dashboard widget that shows whether or not you have pending questions. You can either set it to have pre-moderation or post-moderation. When end users ask questions, you can choose whether or not you want those to go automatically in, or if you want to have to approve them first. So they would show up here. The settings, you basically log in with your Urtak account, choose the domains which you want it to work on.
Sorry, just going to slide you over
Sure.
for better video.
Sure. And you can say whether or not you want Urtak automatically appended at the end of your post, or if you know how to, you can insert Urtak with a PHP function into your template. You can choose whether or not you want to include on the home page, and you can pick the moderation settings and language settings and so on. We also have a feature to disable comments if you'd like to. It's optional. And then we have the Insights dashboard, where we show, say, the most divided questions on your site, the most cared about questions, and the posts that have the most responses. And just to give you a sense, I mean, that's basically it. I can show you the post section as well. We've added 2 columns for questions and responses, and it's a bit small here. And then once you're on a post, the way you ask a question is you just go down to the bottom, and you see there's the Urtak, and you can ask questions as the publisher, and you can moderate questions. You can change the status here. And just to give you a sense of what you can do, what kind of engagement you can get, I'll show you an example. Andrew Sullivan, a blogger who blogs for the Daily Dish, which is part of the Daily Beast, used Urtak to poll his audience and find out who they are and what they think. And from 33,000 people, he collected over almost 1.5 million responses. So you can really get an incredible amount of engagement and reaction from your users. So this is the results section. You can just, when you click through on the Explore results, you can see the responses to all the questions. You can see, you can sort them by the most cared about questions, and if you want to, you can cross-tabulate and see whether or not people in the United States have played a video game in the last week. This might be a little bit slow. Doesn't seem like that's loading. In any case, if you want to try it out, we're submitting to we have an old version that's on the WordPress plugin directory, but you can download it directly right now from urtak.com/WordPress or about.urtak.com/WordPress. And we should be in the WordPress directory with our new version by the end of the week, we hope. So yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, don't know. Yeah, sure. Urtak? Well, Urtak means statistical sample in Icelandic. We wanted a short domain name that meant relatively nothing and was relatively easy to pronounce. So, yeah.
What would you say makes this different from like that?
So the biggest difference is that it's really a conversation. And maybe I didn't show the process of answering more. But GoDaddy, you tend to ask one question, and it's really a poll, and the conversation stops there. The publisher asks one question, and then the users can answer with multiple choice. With Urtak, it's more of a cross between a poll and a survey, where you answer question after question, and what we feel is more important is that you are able to find out the questions to answers you didn't even know to ask, which is the questions that your community may have. So that's what we really felt was lacking in the world of research and public opinion polling in general. So users can then just type in a question like, for instance, we think that comments tend to be you get flame wars, and you might get someone that says, oh, the author's an idiot. But if you force people to ask that question, is the author an idiot? It's a little less, people can answer it, and it's a perfectly valid question, and you'll find out, whether or not the audience thinks that. So that's really the difference between Urtak and a tool like GoDaddy.
Can I ask you, Mike, for the question? Just
Oh.
like I did on video?
Sorry, I should have repeated. For the same person that answers questions? Or?
Yeah, like, they can cross-tabulate, but.
Oh, yeah.
So user 55 said almost idiot, and also
So, yeah, what we do is we just store a cookie as users respond. And so every response that happens in a given session is tied to the same session. And for anonymous users, it's just an anonymous number that represents that user. And if you want to ask a question, you actually have to log in and create an account. And for those users, I've answered 20,000 questions on Urtak. And you can see if I go to urtak.com and I go to my profile here, you'll see all the questions I've ever answered. But right now my profile is only what I can see. We don't have public profiles yet, so it's completely anonymous, even if you're logged in.
sort of a follow-up to that is, so you have this like 1.5 million responses, some of those would be the same person.
We try our best to ensure that the users aren't answering the same question twice. But yes, 1.5 million responses was from 33,000 users. So most users answer many questions. We actually see an average of 20 responses per session with Urtak. So the engagement is quite staggering. Thank you.
All right,
Cool.
why don't we leave it there?
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.